Welcome back to Copper Star Precision, the channel dedicated to getting you more points at your competitive shooting matches. And today we're going over my CZ457 custom build. This is part 2 and we're talking all about the barrel, so stay tuned. Now this video wouldn't be possible without the help from Kenny from Desert Precision Gunworks, but because YouTube's rules about linking to firearms and firearms related content is very weird, it won't be in the description of this video, but I will pin a comment down below with a link to his website, a link to his YouTube channel, Eagle Eye Shooting, as well as 2 videos that I think you should watch regarding the CZ457 that explains his process about how he goes about building these custom barrels. Now you can do all the lot testing in the world, but you're always going to be limited by the inherent accuracy of your barrel. And as we discussed in the last video about sort of the overview, I was experiencing cold bore shift issues with my factory CZ457 Varmint MTR. Now this is not to say that your Varmint MTR or other CZ rifle will have those cold bore shift issues. It's just that the MTR version has a tighter match chamber, and because of that it can be prone to those cold bore shifts, but it doesn't happen to every rifle. So if you're followers of this channel, I definitely go through and show you all my match footage and some of the earlier matches from last year in the August time frame. I was kind of complaining about that cold bore shift, and at that time, you know, I'm still a small channel, but at that time I have even fewer subscribers, less than 1,000, and I'm talking about all the different things that I want to do and all the things I've tried about the barrel, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should just go for a Lilja PreFit, and then I get this message from Kenny. Now, I was flattered that such a larger channel than mine would reach out and try and help, and we talked on the phone and we corresponded about sort of the different issues, and at the time he was considering making barrels for the CZ457 and asked if, you know, I kind of wanted to be a test case for his new custom barrels.
All right, so here is the other rifle. Now, I did reach out to a few folks out there that were asking for rebarrel, kind of randomly drawing them as a test subject to allow me to basically perfect the accuracy of these CZs.
So full disclosure, Kenny chambered and fitted this barrel to this action with no labor cost. I only paid the actual price for the barrel. Now I've been very pleased with the results so far, and there's even more potential to extract out of this barrel through various lot testing that I'm going to do, but in no way is it influenced by Kenny. Kenny doesn't know I'm making this video. I just wanted to kind of go over the process. Now, if you go down to that pinned comment down below that I've pinned, there's a couple different videos where he talks about his process and how he's not really offering prefits because of the differences in the action dimensions that he's seen over the many and many CZ457s that he's come across.
And I think I'm narrowing down the process on building these barrels for the 457 with a very heavy contour to give you guys both the weight, balance, as well as accuracy. And I think I'm going to offer these to basically be a service. Now, I don't think I'm going to offer just pre-fit barrels simply because the 5 CZ457s that I've done recently, they do vary quite a bit on headspace as well as a 10 in diameter.
However, if you're looking for a custom rifle, he does offer the entire barreled action as a complete kit that you can buy if you don't want to go with something like a Rimex or a Voodoo, which he also puts on his website. Maybe full custom isn't the way to go for what you want to achieve and you want to stick with prefits. There's obviously the Lilja. There are offers from LW, and Proof, I think, also makes pre-fit carbon barrels for the 457. But in my opinion, Kenny really sources out some of the best materials, and you're never going to get something that's one size fits all like a pre-fit barrel is versus a custom job that's mated to your action, or in the case of Kenny, what he's doing right now, selling you a mated barreled action.
The basis of why my CZ457s as well as my 22 rimfire barrels, why they shoot accurate, is the tedious hand fitting work that I do and also hand selecting the barrels. Now, the basis of my accuracy, like I always tell folks, is my hand selected barrels. The barrels that I have are as straight as possible. Now, this is a 5/10,000ths gauge. I do have a range rod in here, and I'm going to spin this thing. I'm going to show you guys the deflection or lack of there. So, according to the bore, the curvature of this barrel itself is 1 thou. That's a very straight barrel.
So what this is a top of the line Schillen match select barrel that has the ratchet rifling, which is different than your standard 4 groove or 6 groove or 5 groove rifling. I'll put a picture up here to compare the two. As far as accuracy, I'm not a gunsmith. I don't know if the ratchet rifling offers an advantage. It kind of more gently twists the round in the barrel. From what I've heard, it's also relatively easier to clean than a normal grooved barrel. It is chambered in the JGS match chamber, and it is finished at 24 inches of length. I've also upgraded some of the plastic parts, including the mag well, and put a little small extended mag release here. So let's hop over to the bench and I'll talk about some of the features of this barrel and the things that I've changed on the internals. So first and foremost, Kenny doesn't put his name on anything that he hasn't tested to make sure that it meets his accuracy standards. So if it's got his name on it, you know it's high quality. As I mentioned before, it has the JGS match chamber, 1 in 16 twist on a 24-inch barrel. The barrel is finished off with a nice target crown that's surprisingly not threaded, so I'm not putting a tuner on this, and I'll discuss that in future videos. Now traditionally this barrel is held on by 2 set screws, and it's really nice that he puts on the barrel the torque value for those set screws. Here's the original barrel. It has cutout reliefs for where those set screws set into, but actually this barrel doesn't have those. It's actually thermal fitted to the receiver and the action, and those set screws are just redundancies.
So like I mentioned, these actions are thermal fitted on. You'll see here when I try to go put this action on that it's going to go only a little bit. Now this action does have a little bit of a taper, and you can see there that I cannot force that action on there, and it takes quite a bit of force to get it out. So what I'm going to do is heat up the action here with MAP gas slightly, just to expand the actual action itself. That way it'll slip on over the tenon on this barrel here. Alright, this thing is smoking hot. And you can see there, it is PreFit. That is not going anywhere. Now it won't even move, so that's perfect. Alright, a couple love taps with a dead blow hammer here, and it is seated flush. So we're going to go ahead and put the set screws on there. It's going to be extra added rigidity.
So the internal parts that we replaced are basically the magazine well block for 22 long rifle, the aluminum magazine well, and the extended mag release. Now the ones on the table are the old plastic ones. The metal ones are already on the gun. But of course, YouTube being YouTube, I can't show you how to do that, but it's pretty easy. There's simply 2 screws that you unscrew. There's a pin and another pin. You pop those out, replace the old ones, and there's a spring for the magazine catch that you have to make sure you get back in the right place if the magazine catch actuates. And as you can see, the magazine has very positive retention, and there's almost no forward and back play with the new aluminum parts. Now I know the question that everyone's asking is, well, how accurate is it? Well, in order to do that, we have to put this rifle into a chassis. So the next video we'll be talking about the chassis that I decided to put it in. This is a PDC custom chassis. So subscribe to this channel with notifications enabled so you see when that video comes out. And then of course we're going to go lot test it at the range with some new offerings from Lapua, the long range and super long range. So far, very promising results. I've also got some Center X and Midas Plus, and we can maybe even do some higher end Ely match ammo like Ely Match or Ely 10X. So once again, big shout out to Kenny at Desert Precision Gunworks for helping me with this rifle, and can't wait to start taking it to matches. I've been taking it to matches, and I've just been using my standard SK rifle match, and it performs excellent. I can't imagine when we get some lot tested ammo in here how accurate it's going to be. My plans are to use it in NRL 22, and I'm pretty sure it's accurate enough to run bench rest competitions, so we might swap out the scope for a second focal plane scope with maybe a little bit more magnification and take it to the bench rest competitions. So if something like 22 bench rest or maybe 22 F class is something that interests you and you want to learn how to score more points in those disciplines, let me know and I'll see what I can do. That's all I have for now, but there's plenty more videos coming down the pipeline, so make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and until I see you next time, as always, score more points.